Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Don't know when you'll see this. Hold on, let me stand you up taller. Today is Monday. I know Monday's supposed to be a work day for cleaning the house. But Jim and I decided to keep going with the house project from Saturday, moving the TVs and stuff. Part of that, and sometimes you have to do things out of order, is pulling a box out of the guest room. Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is real life. Okay, so if you're new to this process, Jim and I are doing a major reorganization of our house, purging of things that we don't need or don't want or aren't a necessity, and downsizing a lot, and also rearranging rooms. We've been in this house for 7 years, and that's just about the time where you get the itch, where you gotta like redo something. I feel like Designing Women implanted that in my head. If you ever watched Designing Women, sorry. Annie Potts' character said, yeah, I was gonna tell you the character's name, but even if you don't watch it, Annie Potts' character said, you should never keep drapes more than 7 years, and I just have that stuck in my head all the time. But I kind of feel like we needed a refresh, we needed a rechange, and we took this opportunity to do it. Jim has been a rock star, but I'm trying to do whatever I can. You see I'm sweating because I'm hurting a little bit and moving at the same time, so that's kind of good. What do we have to do? We have emergency supply kit. We live in Tornado Nation. Not really Tornado Alley. I feel like we're kind of on the outskirts of that, but there do come tornadoes here. We get tornado warnings and watches at least once a season. So we have a tornado emergency supplies, and it's not the food, like we're gonna be locked down in the room for a long time, but it's like candles and flashlights and batteries in case we need to get out of the room and see, kind of thing. We don't supply it like we're gonna, I don't like, we're survivalists. We have food in the pantry and stuff, so it's not like, you know, I'm thinking. So it's like candles, battery operated and light up kind with like a lighter and batteries and all these things. And I have them, we used to have them in baskets in the old nightstand in the guest room because that's the room that we use for shelter. And we had this under the bed with a quilt in it. But since a project is coming on my channel very soon of making a quilt ladder, I want to display my quilts after all these years. So I said to Jim, why don't you get this one? This way we have a new nightstand. We don't have to fill it with supplies. We can put them in here and slide it under the bed, and it'll be perfect. It'll be out of the way until we need it. Because why do you have to look at your emergency supplies all the time? So right now they're currently in this Rubbermaid, hold on, move my walker. Right now they're currently in this Rubbermaid tote. So I'm going to transfer them to this, and I thought I would just share the process with you if you're interested. My mother-in-law is very sensitive to fragrance, but when I love a candle and I buy it, I figured like it can go in the emergency supplies, because if we're down to our last 5 candles, I don't think she'll care if they smell. So we tilt you down. So I just want to let you know that I mostly have the same supplies for living in Tornado Alley that I did living in Hurricane Alley. The big difference that I find, and I don't know that this is true because I technically haven't been in a hurricane yet, is that I keep things a lot more waterproof in hurricane world. Basically, you seal up the totes so that they're waterproof. Having other means to cook, a lot of barbecues and outdoor spaces here, so that even if you lost your stove, you could always go and, you know, use your barbecue or share someone else's, which they're more plentiful here, I guess is what I'm trying to say, than where I'm from. But that's not universal. This is just my experience. I do have lots of candles. We have an emergency wind-up radio as well as an emergency battery-operated radio. The battery-operated radio is a little bit better sound quality and a little bit more clear transmission. The handheld wind-up one is just really good for
God forbid the batteries run out on that. If you're, if we're talking an extended period of time. It's kind of weird to think that in today's day and age that you would need these kinds of supplies, because you would think, well, my phone has a light, my phone has a flashlight, my phone has a thing. But I mean, there is a chance that your phone gets damaged. There is a chance that maybe your car gets damaged and your house has no electricity. There is really no way for you to charge your phone. A lot of times the cell towers go down. When we experienced Hurricane Irene, we had a lot of cell tower disruption. But really with Superstorm Sandy there on Long Island, New York, it was like no internet for, or cell phone service for, well, at least a few hours at the most. But it was just really, you really have to prepare yourself digitally and analog. It's the best way I could think about it. Which is why we have actual wax candles and actual battery operated candles. We do both. Obviously, it's safer to have a battery operated candle, especially if, God forbid, you have debris in your home. Then you don't want to worry about knocking a candle over or having it fall over onto something. But, they don't last as long as the wax ones do. They usually last for hours and hours. Now, oddly enough, my dad always used to say, you have enough candles, like, because I used to love to buy candles. You have enough candles to light the city for 5 days if the power went out. But turns out not quite that long. When we actually did have the hurricane and the power went out, they lasted a really long time, but not that long. And obviously not the whole city, just my home. I will tell you, I wish I had the giant 3-wick candle again. I'm always in the lookout for that. It's bigger than the 3-wick candles that you sometimes can get at some of the stores. It was actually about 10 inches round, and it just created such warmth for when I was cleaning out the hurricane, my things in the hurricane in November. So if you can find one of those to keep you warm, that's always nice as well. Now, the last thing we have, not in this box, but also in emergency supplies, is gallons of water. Okay? We get them at the Dollar Tree.
And then cover it up. Okay. That was easy. The good thing about doing this right now, especially, is I realized, or that we're rearranging stuff, is I realized I need to buy more batteries and more matches and possibly a stick lighter. One of the things that I've heard is they have this electric stick lighter that doesn't have fuel, so I won't have to worry about the fuel in there. So I might do that, but that's it. So now this is ready to go back under the bed. There is room for a few more supplies, which is good, but there's also lots of things in here that, like some decorative candles that if I ever need to throw in a gift basket, I could as well. So that's it.
So I want to show you really quick here this space with the old TV moved out. And all we did was move it into the kitchen for now, because we have to rip the floor up in our bedroom before we put it in there.
Hi everybody, don't mind my messy hair. This is the next step. We're gonna move the TV from the bedroom into the living room and vice versa. And I'm just gonna sit here and organize all the stuff that comes out. And here we go.
You love how I say we, right? Well, technically I'm sitting here and I'm not only cleaning off all of the stuff that he's handing me, which I didn't share with you, but I'm also going through stuff and purging. I have a few different things that I saved that are very sentimental, but also some things that I was talking to my friends today, and I basically said it's just difficult when the hurricane came. We basically cleaned up whatever we could, threw it into bins, and brought it to the apartment of the group home or into storage, because we really didn't have time. We were pressed for time so that the deconstruction crew could come in and rip up the floors and take out the sheetrock and stuff. So we were really pressed for time. I did my very best to save whatever I could, clean it up, put it away, and get it out of there. So when we moved here, I got to a point where we had gone through all the things. We basically purged everything we knew we weren't going to use. But I got to the point where I was like, okay, I'm not going through this bin or whatever. If I have a place to put it, I'll just put it there. And that's pretty much what had happened with a few things. So a few things just got pushed to the side. I was talking to my best friends today, and I was saying how some of the memory boxes that I had that were very, very special to me got ruined in the flood and got lost, actually. So I wasn't sure, going through the boxes of things that I had remaining, exactly what was left. So I did find some sentimental items and some emotional items. If you follow me on Instagram or on my Facebook business page, you will see I mentioned it. It was kind of a little bit of an emotional roller coaster. I basically found some stuff of my brother's from when he was little and in college. I had this ribbon that Jimmy had given me, some of my first flowers at work, a wax sculpture that I made in high school that got broken. It was a bit of an emotional roller coaster. My teeny tiny scissors, I was very, very happy to find them. If you guys know me, you know I love things that are teeny tiny, and I have scissors everywhere. We talked about that before. But basically, what we always kept on our TV stand, which was a little bit low when we purchased it, we had no idea how tall we would need it to be. So we had created all of these shelves, which I'll talk about in a minute. But what we always kept on here was a few movie books of movies that we love the most. We have a lot of DVDs. I know a lot of things stream very easily now, so you could downsize your DVDs. But Jim and I do have plans of retiring or semi-retiring or getting an RV. And you're not always in internet range, even if you have good internet in your minivan or satellite internet that you have to pay extra for. Sometimes it's just better just to plop in a DVD and we can watch movies and relax that way. So we have these little books that have our favorite DVDs that we keep in our room, and then we have the big books out in the living room. So I also have this riser that also helps the TV rotate. Now the first TV we had was on a smaller base, but we ended up swapping that out. Mom and I had the same TV in our bedrooms, and hers broke, but she really had grown accustomed to using that TV. So she asked if she could have ours, and she would buy us a new one. So the new one we got had a bigger base. So I had to create this shelf on the bottom. So the shelf that I have was some shelf boards that were left over from a desk we had to get rid of in the flood. And we created this little shelving system for the apartment at the group home for the 6 months we lived there after the flood. But we brought it here because it was a perfect place to keep the DVD player and elevate the TV. So we basically stacked things on top of things. That little cabinet with the swivel we got for $5 at a consignment shop in town that unfortunately has closed since, but did love it. Did love it a lot, actually. It was a great place to get a lot of country stuff. And then underneath it we had the memory boxes and photo boxes and a wedding album and such. So some of these things are just merely decorative. The round hat boxes are completely empty. They just have other hat boxes inside. And the picture boxes are set up in date order that we were going to put into photo albums. But the photo albums that we could get our hands on that we can afford are really lousy. Honestly, they fall apart so easy. They're ones that we have already, and they're just a mess. So I've been researching ways to create new photo storage systems. It would be nice to put, corner things on everything, kind of like scrapbooking, but that's a lot of work and they're not always guaranteed to stay. So we're working on it. We're working on another project we have for down in the future. The photo albums are currently in the craft room, and when we go to move them to their new home, that's what Jimmy said he wants to possibly work on doing something different with them as well. Okay. So while he gives me stuff, and I know you can't see it, I'm actually cleaning everything off. I've mentioned in previous videos, we both have really bad allergies. We're both allergic to dust. So what we do is we wet dust. It is really the best way to go. We have N-Dust allergy remover. I got it on Amazon. It really is best. I have an allergy remover, but it's for allergy sensitive. And it really is the best. It's a light dust. It's a light liquid, so you can put it on, like I'm dusting off these cardboard boxes without doing any damage to the cardboard boxes, just to give you the perfect idea. So now he's going to go ahead and clean these shelves off. This particular corner TV unit that we have in our room has a permanent fixed shelf, as opposed to ones that are adjustable. The TV that's going to be coming in here from the living room has adjustable shelves, okay? Mind his head. It also has these two little triangular cabinets, which are really kind of useless. They almost look like, he said, they look like they should be open for like little tchotchkes in the corner. But I said maybe it's a good place to store a remote control, but it's not. You can't even put a whole DVD in there, so I'm not really sure what the purpose of them are. But we ended up using the shelves that are in there when we get inside to the living room. I'll tell you guys all about that. But he's taking a break, well deserved. And there's another thing. So I was talking about doing these things with limitations and physical limitations, and obviously I have them, especially now that I'm injured. But Jim has, you know, he's old. He's going to be 50 this year. And I know that that's not old for some people, but for him, he feels it. So he is pacing himself. He is doing amazing. But, you know, I said to him, I'm like, don't hurt yourself because, you know, you're out of commission. You won't be able to do anything and you'll get really mad at yourself. Because he gets really down on himself when he messes up for something or another. So anyway, as we're going, I'm purging, and I found this cute little, like, almost like one of his little gem bags that he keeps his, like, dice in for Dungeons and Dragons. But I found a teeny tiny version, and I told him I would put it aside. He's like, I don't know what I'll do that for. I was like, I don't know. It looks like it goes with one of your costumes. So there you go. You can have it. So the last pile over here on the right that you see is basically a blue tote that I have both of my parents, like things like my my dad's yearbook, my mom's firefighter hat and stuff like that. Just my sisters came and they went through it and took some things that they wanted, and that's basically what I'll have it for. You know, if my nieces and nephews want memorabilia of my parents from time to time. And then above it is, on top of that is just things that I have to send out. I don't have any extra money to ship things out to my sister and my friends just yet. So that's what all of that stuff is, just waiting to go. Okay? So Jim's method that he's using is pretty similar to when he moved the dresser out. He is putting down a rug, a blanket, just a throw blanket, the cheap kind that you can get at Walmart, like that, or fleece. And he basically moved the TV cabinet onto it and then just works that to slide it out. Now, one of you sweet friends reminded me or showed me that we had the furniture movers that basically go under the 4 feet. And those are really great, but we like to show you guys something that everybody can do. Everybody may have a throw blanket or an old towel or a couple of rags that will help them move furniture easier than having to spend any extra money. And they can do it themselves, is really what I was going to say. Now, this TV cabinet is made for a corner. It's basically got sort of triangular cuts out of the sides and the back, but it fits perfectly. It butts up towards the fireplace on that side, and on this side, it's fine. It just looks like it's angled a little bit. So Jim is having a little trouble because it's wanting to dip forward. Now, I don't know if you saw that door just fly open when he put the cabinet down, but it is kind of leaning forward. The floor in this room is not perfectly straight. So what he's done is we've taken those triangular shelves out of those two cabinets, and we've used them as as elevation in the front. Then it made it dip too far backwards, so then we took coasters from the Dollar Tree. Actually, technically, they're from Dollar General. They were 50 cents each, and we put them in the back to make it completely level. So then we were able to put our TV on with no problems. So he hooks up the TV components. He's had a little trouble. I was like, you making me scared. I thought he was going to drop it. But then he got it all hooked up, and that's it. He's a rock star. So if you guys have any questions, leave them in the comments down below. Hopefully you liked this video. Give it a thumbs up. Hopefully you learned something. I taught you something, or you're inspired to do something. If you haven't subscribed yet, there's a little button right there. And when you do click that button, a bell will pop up. When you ring that bell, YouTube will let you know whenever I upload a new video. And as always, you guys take care. God bless. And we'll see you next time. Bye.